So, what brings you here today, Holden?
My friend Carl Lewis, I don't know. We got together. He recommended I see his dad. He's one of those psychoanalysis and all. That's the only worthwhile comment he made the whole 12 hours we were talking.
So, what is the problem from your viewpoint?
Every single situation I'm in makes me depressed as hell.
Could you give me a concrete example?
I got this prostitute I paid $5 for. It ended up doubling. I didn't want to have sex or anything with her.
So, what did you want a prostitute for?
I'm not scared of sex or anything. All I wanted was for her to just listen to me. I just wanted to pay her for listening.
Trying to grasp innocence from people. He's isolated himself, which is the first step to the grieving
And
process.
did the prostitute listen to you?
No, she had no conversation skills at all. She was young. And she started taking off her dress, which made me so depressed. I'm sure I wouldn't be if you did, though.
Mr. Caulfield, let's stay on topic.
But not too much. I guess they can't stick to the point all the time. I remember these nuns I met who were just eating plain toast for breakfast.
So, what makes you feel sad about that?
It made me feel so sad watching. They all deserved to eat because they were supposed to live like that. I don't have much of an appetite, but it was still so depressing. I started talking to them, but I was uncomfortable when Romeo and Juliet got brought up.
What made you feel uncomfortable about Romeo and Juliet?
They were nuns and all. I decided just to donate some of my money since I really didn't need it anyway.
Have you noticed an appetite change recently?
Ever since I got kicked out of Penn State, I haven't really had much of an appetite.
So, do you often do nice things for people, like donate money?
Sometimes. Last month I bought my sister a record, but it shattered in pieces before I even gave it to her.
The best way to feel better about yourself is doing good for others. How does this problem of depression typically make you feel?
I feel like an outsider watching all these phonies. I don't belong here or anywhere.
Is there anything specific that makes you depressed?
Well, one of the guys I went to school with was getting picked on. I didn't know him real well, but I let him borrow my jacket. He was cornered in his room, but was so stubborn not to take back what he said about one of the guys that he just jumped out the window. No one even bothered to go near him except Mr. Antolini.
Holden could be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He witnessed his classmate's suicide. So, what makes the problem better?
Mostly drinking, talking to my sister, and going to the museum to reminisce. The museum is always the same. The kids going in are never the same each time they visit. The museum has these long hallways and is full of glass cases. My favorite exhibits are the Indians and mummies. There's this one Eskimo fishing, looking like he just caught some fish. Nothing in the museum will ever be different, except for you.
It seems like you like to relive your childhood in some ways. What is your relationship with your parents?
I mean, not too good. They send me off to boarding school after boarding school. I've been to at least 1,000 by now. My dad is always working, and I've really had a good connection with my mom. Ever since Allie died, she hasn't been the same because she distances herself. It's actually quite depressing if you think about it. Most things are depressing if you think
Holden
about
likes to
them.
relive his past because he fears change. The big changes he has had in his life are always negative. Change to him means failure or loss.
So, do you have any siblings?
Yes, my brother D.B. lives out in Hollywood being a phony. He wrote the best book called Goldfish. You would love it.
Tell me more about how your brother is a phony.
Well, he would write these great books, but he is now a prostitute. He sells his scripts to big-time movies just to make some dough. That's not really how he is. But enough about DB. Then there's Phoebe. She's the most curious girl you'll ever meet. When she was just a little girl, she would always walk between me and DB when we were having a conversation. She'd always interrupt and say, "What?" or "Who are you talking about?" Then she'd just respond with either "Oh" or "Mm-hmm." She'd kill me. She really would. She always wanted to be a part of everything and got so curious when she wasn't. My mom would dress her up in the best outfits, I must say.
Anger is another process to the grieving phase. Allie is the underlying factor for Holden's destructive behavior. He never got the closure. Another step to the grieving process is to bargain with God. They want to beg God to bring back their loved ones, except Holden doesn't believe in God, so he bargains with Allie instead.
I might call up old Sally Hayes and apologize for scaring her.
So, do you feel like you are always that impulsive?
Well, you never really know until someone points that out to you. When people are direct with you, it's kind of nice. I'm not always that direct because my mind jumps around a little bit.
This has been a very good session, Holden. I can feel you opening up. If you ever need someone to talk to, you can call me. I would suggest you continue your good deeds for people. It would be beneficial if you go to a support group. They will listen to you for sure. You can do simple things for yourself like exercise, which will produce endorphins that will produce a happy feeling for you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think people just don't know how to listen because they have their own problems to worry about. Society doesn't want to be surrounded by negativity. They would rather avoid other people's problems. People can show empathy, but no one really knows what you're going through, you know? Yo-yos and letters not stamped right will come back to you just like karma. I've had karma for not listening to others when they try to talk to me. I need to listen to others so they'll do the same for me. There's nothing anyone can say that can make Allie's death go away. He was the only thing I liked. Phoebe reminded me that he's not here anymore. Allie would have wanted me to try to follow the rules once for him. I'm going to give it my best effort in my new school, not in boarding school this time. Sarcasm was my way of hiding my fear, except I'm willing to become vulnerable, so people will take me seriously. I've been a hypocrite because that's the one thing I hated. A phony.